Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to MOVIEidol. So in this video, I want to do another Q&A talking about obviously season 10 of The Walking Dead. This one here is very focused on Michonne for this season and also some other stuff. I think there's a question about Gabriel and Anne and the helicopter thing because there is something weird about that. But of course, before we jump in, I do have to warn you for spoilers for the comics, obviously the Whisper War arc, and also spoilers for season 9 of The Walking Dead because I know some people haven't watched it yet. Some people are waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray next week or I guess obviously on Netflix. I think that's coming out next month, I'm pretty sure. But the first question here says, who of all the main villains had the best introduction? Honestly, I would have to go with Negan for that one. It's really hard to say the governor because the governor was a really great villain. Like for this, the question was introductions, right? So just based off introductions, I think Negan definitely had the better introduction. Alpha's introduction was very close though. It is very close. And I know I really did like it when it happened. And I do think she's a better villain than Negan. I still think Negan's introduction was just like handled much better because it was the first time we were meeting Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan. It was the first time we saw that character on screen come to life. In the comics, I love that Negan. Obviously, like I really love the way Robert Kirkman writes that character and I love that character, but I really do just prefer the show's version. I at this point, I prefer the show's version of Negan. His intro scene was just amazing. And as much as I really hate the season 6 finale, I guess I should clarify, I don't hate the actual episode. I hate the cliffhanger. The episode is actually really great. And his introduction, the hype, the build throughout that episode was amazing. Honestly, if they never did that cliffhanger, I think The Walking Dead would be in a much better place right now. Like a much better place right now. If they never did that cliffhanger, I mean, if Negan actually killed Glenn or Abe, or even if they still did the 2 deaths there, that season would have built up to that epic moment. It would have been really amazing. But yeah, anyways, yeah, Negan definitely had the better introduction. Do you think episode 12 or 13 could be Michonne's exit? And if so, could episode 12 be the Hilltop Whisperer battle and Michonne leaves for some reason after the battle is over? Well, the Hilltop battle, I don't think it's going to happen around episode 12 or 13. I do think there is going to be a battle around episode 12, 13, 14. There will be something that happens around there, just because I think if you're going to have a battle, if you're going to wrap up this Whisper War arc, something I think needs to happen around episode 12 to 14, or episode 10 to 14, sorry, around that point, because the mid-season finale or mid-season premiere, I mean, it's going to be dealing with whatever happened, obviously, if Alpha does die in the mid-season finale. It'll be dealing with stuff that happened there and whatnot. The finale will be set up for season 11. I hope they don't end on a cliffhanger in terms of we have to wait to see how the Whisperer arc is going to end, right? Like we have to wait until season 11. If they do a cliffhanger, I'm okay with it. Just make it like Commonwealth related or make it introduce the next story sort of thing. Episode 15 and I think even 14 is going to be that massive horde of walkers that Beta will unleash on Alexandria. So I think somewhere between episode like 10 to 14, around there, there's going to be an Alexandria battle, probably around 10 to 12 actually, and Michonne's exit is going to be somewhere around there. She's definitely not going to be around until the end of the season. That's just not going to happen, but she will probably leave around episode 10 or 12, 14, somewhere around there. From what I've been hearing, they've already filmed like episode 1, 2, I think 4, or something like that, 7, 8, and 12, or it's something weird like that. And now they're going back to film episode 5. They've already been filming stuff in the second half, and so it's very possible that Denai's already done filming, or maybe she'll come back in like a month or two and finish like her final scenes, because maybe she's going to be in like episode 14 or something like that. Q&A, will you play Overkill's The Walking Dead on Twitch? I don't think I'm going to play that game just because I don't really have any interest in that, but I will play other games. I mean, if there's ever another Walking Dead game, I'll easily play that on there, but as of now, it doesn't seem like there's anything really that interesting coming out that I've really heard of anyways. But I am playing Minecraft, and I am going to be playing Mining Dead and Crafting Dead. Right now I'm doing Minecraft, but I will be adding like an episode a week or something like that. I'm going to try get a Mining Dead or Crafting Dead episode out for Friday. If it's not this Friday, then I'll just come out next week or something like that. But yeah, I was looking at some gameplay the other day and it looks really interesting. You can go to Herschel's farm. I heard the Whisperers at one point, so that'll be really cool to run around and fight the Whisperers. That'd be really amazing. But yeah, if you want that kind of content, I'm going to be doing that on my personal channel, but I will also stream that on Twitch. The links for all that are down below. Why do you think Gabe hasn't suspected that Anne took Rick? This one is very weird. I don't understand why like Gabe hasn't brought up anything to do with Anne leaving or Judiths leaving. I know he knows why she left. Like obviously we know that, but why hasn't he told anybody about that? And they didn't find a body. Like that's the thing. Like that's the first thing I would think. It'd be like, wait, where's Judiths? And first of all, if you're Gabriel, you know that Judiths had a helicopter, or that there was a helicopter there or something. If that bridge blew up and they went searching for his body, they could not find anything, and it was like a year later, and they literally could still not find Rick. Even now, 6 years later, they can't find his remains, his shirt, anything. That they can't find anything. They followed it forever. And I mean, they ran, right? Like after that happened, they ran down that. Although I guess Daryl did, and Daryl just walked away. I don't know why he did that, but it's just weird to me to think that Gabriel didn't put 2 and 2 together. Judiths left at a weird time. She was trying to leave with this helicopter. We can't find Rick's body. Is it possible? Because that's going to be the weird thing. If Michonne finds out he's alive, I mean, eventually our characters on the show are going to find out that wherever Rick is, that place exists, that helicopter, all that stuff exists, that Judiths is still alive. So Gabriel at that point is going to be like, oh shit. And how is Michonne going to feel about him at that point, right? Because he kept that a secret. He could have told someone. And at this point, I'm kind of just in the belief that the writers forgot about that and they just want us to overlook that. But I really can't. Like, that's the one thing where I'm like, Gabriel knows about the helicopter and Rick disappeared. Why hasn't he said anything? Q&A, do you think the kiss between Michonne and King Ezekiel is part of a dream sequence, or is it the real deal? I think it's probably the real deal. I mean, who would be dreaming of that? I guess Ezekiel could be dreaming. I don't think Michonne would. Or maybe Michonne could. I don't know. I think Michonne's really still in love with Rick, obviously. But then again, it's been a long time, right? It's been like 6 years, closer to 7 years now, once season 10 starts. And so, no, I would think that it's probably real. I do think there's a chance that it's a dream sequence, but it's most likely real, but it's just not going to last long. Q&A, is it possible that Michonne dies and Daryl and Carol have the reunion with Rick? I mean, this is always a possibility, and I was thinking about this too the other day. If Michonne does die, it's really, I don't know, it's not the end of the world in terms of the reunion part, because out of the whole reunion thing, I mostly want Rick and Judith to meet each other, and Rick and RJ. Like, first of all, I want Rick to meet RJ for the first time. I mostly want that just because it's a father and children. That part's going to be very emotional. And plus, Rick has had Judith from the beginning. Judith is the connection to Shane and to Lori. There's just a lot of stuff there with Judith and RJ. I mean, that's exciting, right? Rick had no idea that Michonne was pregnant. So Michonne could die, and as sad as it would be, it still wouldn't take away from that. There's still a lot to look forward to there. The issue that I have with it, though, is that they still are together. There is still a relationship there. Obviously, Michonne and Rick were, I think, closer than Rick and Lori ever were. And so if Michonne dies without Rick being involved or not knowing and just finding out later, that's kind of cheap, in my opinion. We don't get to have that reaction, those final moments. Michonne's going to die. And I think this is the worst part about it. Michonne's going to die thinking that Rick died, right? Even if she finds out beforehand and she still dies, I don't know. I have an issue with that. I really just have an issue with that. But I will say it does make me a little worried because Danai Gurira hasn't confirmed anything for the first or second movie, which it is still too early for. But the way she's talking about it when they ask her about it, she's like, well, I guess you'll just have to wait and see, which I know could go either way. We literally dealt with this with Rick, but I'm still a little worried about it. Q&A, do you think that maybe Ezekiel will take Andrea's comic death because of what they're potentially setting up with him and Michonne by giving him peace before he goes out? Then Michonne finds out about Rick and decides that since she just lost Ezekiel, that she has to find Rick. I mean, I don't think Ezekiel's gonna die only because I don't think Michonne and Ezekiel are going to have that close of a relationship, to be honest. Like, I think they're going to be really close in the moment because they're both really feeling something. They're both feeling really lonely, but I think they're going to realize, like, wow, that was a lot of fun. I feel a lot better. We were both really grieving, and that really helped a lot. But I think I'm fine on my own now. I think I can really move forward with this. Ezekiel dying right now when Michonne's leaving, I think would just be way too much. Ezekiel's going to die at some point. Don't get me wrong. He'll die in the next year or two, maybe season 11, 12, probably 13 around there. He's not going to be around until season 15. Like, Carol will be for sure, but I don't think Ezekiel's going to get Andrea's death. I think Connie is, actually. Q&A, if they turn the show around and it got better than it currently is, who do you think would be an interesting character to move to Fear? First of all, the show's amazing right now. It's really amazing. Season 9 to me was probably the best season of all time. And on that second part, don't move any more characters to Fear the Walking Dead. I'm sick of that shit. No more. Q&A, do you think that Michonne and Ezekiel being together will affect how Michonne feels about Rick? No, I don't think so, because Rick is Rick, right? When Michonne finds out about Rick, she's gonna freak out. Q&A, if Michonne leaves and there's a time jump in season 11, do you think that Judith will be the next leader? I mean, if she's going to be, the time jump would have to be like 20 years or something like that. But I also don't like the idea that all the Grimes children, or the Grimes, members, or the Grimes member, but I also don't like the idea of all the Grimes children, or I guess, Grimes' descendants or Rick Grimes' descendants can all be leaders or all should be leaders. I think Rick would have wanted it to be the best person in charge, right? Like he doesn't want like this whole king and queen type thing. A monarchy, I guess is what you would call it. He would want the council or whoever it was around to vote on a leader. Rick was the leader because it was Rick Grimes, you know? Judith isn't entitled to that just because she's his daughter. Q&A, who do you think will be the first person Judith kills? First person? She's already killed someone. Q&A, you should do a ranking of all 9 seasons, please. That is something I'm really interested in doing, but it's very hard to do, and the reason why is because I've already done like I think a top 8 for all the seasons, so I would just be placing season 9 in there and just be saying the same thing I said about those other seasons. So I think I'll wait a few years. I mean, maybe I could do it this year, we'll see, because my opinions will change on certain seasons. Obviously, like people's opinions change every few years. I'll look back at season 2 and be like, oh, actually I never liked that season as much as I thought I did. So maybe I'll do one this year, maybe I'll wait a year or 2 or something like that. Q&A, what if Michonne takes RJ away to the Commonwealth directly after the Whisper War ends? That's my guess. Judith just refuses to leave, that's why she stays. Well, first of all, I don't think Michonne's going to go to the Commonwealth. And I also hope that if she does leave, that she doesn't take RJ. I think that would just be a really big mistake, because I want an episode, maybe in season 11, because I think you can do it in season 11. You can definitely have more downtime then. I would like it if we got it in season 10, I mean, and maybe we will. But I want a scene in the future with RJ and Judith, where maybe Judith is teaching RJ some stuff. You know, RJ is just asking Judith a bunch of questions. RJ can ask her about his dad and stuff like that, ask more questions about Carl, because that's kind of the cool thing about RJ. RJ's probably going to want to be a lot like his older brother, Carl. He's going to have a lot of questions about his older brother. He's going to have a lot of questions about his father, and I hope he gets to meet his father one day. I mean, I feel very confident that we're going to see that. But yeah, I hope Michonne doesn't take RJ. Q&A, there needs to be a scene of Maggie finding out who all is dead, or mainly just Jesus and Ezekiel, because that would be so sad. Yeah, I hope they don't do that off screen. I hope it's not a thing where Michonne, or Maggie, sorry, comes back and she's like, I heard what happened, I'm here, sort of thing. And then we get a scene of her maybe at the Barrington house talking to Ezekiel, asking how it happened or something like that, but like she already knows. I don't want it like that. I want it to be where she comes back and then she's like, where's Tara, or where's Enid, or, you know, or where's Jesus? It would actually be kind of hilarious, because she'd come back and she'd be like, oh, I want to speak with Jesus. Ezekiel's like, okay, fine. Well, what about Tara then? The thing about Enid, they're all dead, Maggie. But thank you guys so much for your questions. For next week's Q&A, just post all of your questions down below and I'll answer them then. We have another Walking Dead reveal coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And also stay tuned for my season 9 review coming out. I think it will be out sometime next week, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support. I really, really appreciate it, and thanks for watching.